my name is Lilian Okibe. Welcome to episode 17 of Vlogmas. So a few months ago, I believe it was September this year, I uploaded a video. I uploaded this video. I wore a particular hairstyle. I don't know if you guys can see, like this, the hairstyle that I wore in that video. So many of you loved the hairstyle and you guys wanted a tutorial, but I've not been able to do that. So in today's episode of Vlogmas, I decided to create a tutorial of that style for you guys. So if that sounds like something that you're interested in, then definitely keep on watching. In that video, my hair was in mini braids, but today my hair is in mini twists. So but it's basically the same concept. I believe the results are going to be really similar. So yeah, I'm just going to go ahead and bring out the portion of hair that I want to use as my bangs. I think I'm going to have 1, 2, 3, 4 bangs thereabouts. Then for the rest of the hair, then I'm going to take out like a little portion of hair from the front like this, you know. Then I'm going to just wrap that up in like a loose bun. So I'm using a small hair tie to do this. You don't have to use this size of hair tie. You can use something bigger, but for that you're going to have to wrap it around your hair more times than I'm wrapping mine. So you want to make like a loose bun. Using a small hair tie just makes everything better. You want to make it loose, but you want to like kind of make it kind of standing, you know. Then the hair that you have like hanging, you're just going to wrap it in. You don't want that to show. Now I'm still going to come back to do that, because you guys that watched that video know that I had like some like gold stuff around there, so I'm going to come back to fix that later on. But now let's move on to the rest of the hair. Now for the front and like the back, I'm going to be inserting some beads. So now what I'm going to do is like, I like to use like small beads whenever I put beads like on my bangs, just because I don't want too much, like I don't want big beads just bouncing around on my hair. But before I go ahead and do that, for the rest of my hair, like for that video, I use, you guys that watch my videos know that when I insert beads into my hair, I usually use thread, African threads, but I've run out of African threads. So for today I'm going to be using regular rubber bands, the ones they use, like what most people use for inserting their beads. But to reduce how much damage that I'm going to experience as I use that, I'm going to take some oil. This is olive oil. You can use any oil of choice. In one of my other videos I used cooking oil and it did an amazing job, so it doesn't have to be this oil. The purpose of using an oil is just to help to lubricate the rubber band so that it's not going to be too harsh on your hair. Also, the oil will help to weaken the rubber band, so before the tension gets so much that it's snagging your hair, the oil will make the rubber bands weak, such that the oil will break the rubber band before it kind of like puts so much tension that will end up breaking your hair. So it's win-win situation. It's like plus. So I'm just going to go ahead and pour some of the oil in like a container like this. This is actually the cover of a container that I have lying around in my house. So now I'm going to go ahead and put the rubber bands into the oil that I just poured, just to help lubricate it. I like to leave this in for like a few minutes, maybe probably like 5 minutes or so. You want to make sure that the oil is like immersed in the rubber bands rather are immersed in the oil, you know. So because I don't want to put too many of the rubber bands and I end up not using everything, I'm just going to put like 5 or so for now. Just allow this to sit while I go ahead and do my bangs. For the bangs, I'm not going to be using I'm not going to be using rubber bands for the bangs, because like my bangs stay in place without rubber bands, so because of the way I wrap them. So now we are going to go ahead and start to insert the beads around the bangs. Now I have these really small tiny beads. Most of my videos, if you see me wearing bangs, most likely you see me wearing like this kind of, if I'm wearing beads on my bangs, most likely I'll be wearing something like this. So yeah, my battery died, so I went ahead to charge. So where were we? Yeah, I was showing you guys the beads that I normally use. So for my bangs, I like to use very small beads because I don't want like anything big like on my face. So this is the size. I've had these for years. I think 3 years or so now. So yeah, let me go ahead and start the bangs. So for my bangs, I take the hair right? Sometimes I use like a crochet needle, sometimes I don't. I feel like inserting beads in my bangs are like the easiest thing to do. So I take the hair, bend it over, you know, to give it like very, very blunt, precise ends. Then I just like kind of like twirl so that it's small. Then I just insert it, like now it's hard, I just insert it into, put it through the bead. So I usually use 2 beads per braid or twist. So I repeat the same thing. I take this away because we don't need that in the picture. Then I allow my hair, like I don't pull it, you know, because if I pull it then my results will not be the same. So I just release my hair just to see where it naturally falls with my shrinkage and everything, you know. So it's about here. This is around the position where I want the bangs to end. So I'm just going to take the bead, move it higher to that spot, right somewhere there. Maybe I should make it a little shorter. Yeah, somewhere there. And I'm just going to go ahead and wrap my hair, like we just wrap my hair in like a bantu knot kind of situation. I'm wrapping it upwards just so that at the end of the day you guys will see. So I'm wrapping it upwards because I don't want my hair to just be on one spot. It's going to be too bulky and then the other bead will not be able to come down. So that's why I wrap it like upwards so that it's as flat as possible. Then I'm just going to bring down the bead to cover the end. You guys can see like the beginning parts where I started wrapping, because my hair was like more bulky there, it cannot go through the bead, so the bead is only covering like the very end, and there you have it. That is the first section. So I'll just go ahead and repeat the same thing all through until I'm done doing all my bangs. That's basically the same principle, like the same technique I use. So I have a container, like this is an Eco Styler gel container. This is where I keep my beads. Like I have like 2 sets of beads. I have these ones that are kind of like brownish, orangey, that fit together. I put them here in this container. Then I have another container where I put my beads. Those ones are like more like whitish, silver kind of things that go together. So I put them in. Where is that container? Let me not show you because I'm not going to be using those beads today. But like I keep my beads in containers just so that it's easier that way, because like if you do not keep your beads in container, if you just allow them to be flying around you'll keep buying beads, and when it's time for you to use them you'll find none. So keeping them in like a container just helps you to be organized, and it also helps the beads to remain in your life. So I'm basically repeating the same. Let's see, like sometimes it depends on what I'm going for. Sometimes I like my bangs to have like short, then I have some tendrils that are a little longer on both sides, but today I don't think I'll do that. So I'll try to make everything to be equal length. So release this, see where it falls so that it's almost the same length. Push this up and then just wrap in an upward direction. This is more like a bantu knot kind of thing. And the good thing about inserting beads in your hair is that they kind of help to protect your hair. Now for this particular section, I think I wrapped flatter, so you guys can see that the bead is coming lower. Ooh, so cute. And the good thing about doing this, like inserting beads on old hair, like old twists, old braids, not like old twists, old braids, like when your hair is kind of frizzy. Like my twists are not actually old right now. They look crusty now because they're already getting dry. Like as soon as I spray some water on my hair, like it becomes as good as new again. That's why I like water. But we're not going to be using water today because there's really no need for that. But I also like the way that it's hanging. You guys can see the way that it's hanging, because I previously put my hair up in a bun, so now like the beads are like just forcing. You guys can see like it's hanging in a nice way. That's something I like. That's why I like to do my beads. I like to insert beads not like on the first day after when I do my braids or twists. I usually insert beads like much later to spice it up, especially if I want to insert them in bangs. If I want to do bangs, like, because I insert them much later so that my hair must have formed like a shape. So by the time I insert the beads, it will just become to hang basically. And I feel like it's usually nicer. Like now that it's hanging, it's nicer. If it was flat, it would just be weird. Like it would be weird. But as it's hanging, it's like cute. let's leave this here. Wrap, 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 wrap. Wrap, 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 wrap. Ooh, cute. Now over to the very last bead, or the very last twist. See, if you don't have beads in your house, I highly recommend that you go and buy some really cute beads. Like, they will just make your life so much easier, because sometimes for someone like me, like, because I get bored with my hair, like I will get bored of styles very fast. So I cannot wear one style one way forever, and that's why, like in the past, my twists, like my mini twists and mini braids, never used to last, because I never really used to know how to style them. But now, since I got that system of like just using beads to change your style, to just transform it from one style to like something totally different, like my life has become so much easier, and that's why I'm now able to wear my like twists and braids longer. Ooh, here, then wrap, 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 wrap. Yeah, so for those of you that guessed yesterday's, like, guess how many twists I had. I don't have so many twists. I know many of you are guessing like very large numbers. I have just 63 twists. Most times, like for the back, I kind of started really small, but I got tired and started making them a little bit big. Like, so all my twists are not of the same length. They're not of the same length. So yeah. So now that we've done the back, or like the bangs, you can see that the style is already coming to life, like coming to life. So the next thing I'm going to do now, I'm going to start applying beads on. I'm going to apply the beads all over at the back. You know, all the twists here, I'm going to put beads, and I'm going to be using another group. I'm going to be using one big bead like this, then I'll also be using something short that I'm going to roll my hair around. So let's just go on. Now for this group of beads, I am going to be using what's it called now? I'm going to be using crochet needle. Ooh. So I'm going to be using crochet needle. So I'll take the bead. I want the smaller one to be down, so I'm going to insert it into the crochet needle first. Put the small one first, then put the longer one second, right? Then I'm going to take the hair that I want to do, right? Take the hair, and then I'm going to put it through the needle. Now this my crochet needle is bad, like that. The lock is bad. Don't know if you guys can see. So you guys can see the lock is bad. It's permanently in. It cannot come out more than this. I don't know. I can't remember what I used it for that just destroyed it, but like it's bad now, so I cannot use it the way many people use their needle. So there is no locking with this particular crochet needle. I actually have another one, but I cannot find it. So you're just going to insert. Let's come closer, right? You're just going to take your needle and put your hair through it like a hoop. This is when you're supposed to open your needle, put your hair through it, close the needle before you start to like pull it through the beads. But because my needle is bad, I cannot close it, so you pull it through, right? And then this first one, take it away. You're left with the second one, so you're just going to bring it to like a nice spot. I'm going to bring it to this point. I don't want it to be too like long to be disturbing me all over the place, so I'm going to leave it here. So I have like this much hair left. You want to leave enough hair so that you're going to, when you're wrapping it, it's going to wrap nicely. So I'm just like wrapping it just the same way I did for the bangs. I'm wrapping it in a bantu knotty kind of way in an upward direction. Normally at this point, after I wrap it like this, then I'll take my African thread and just thread it in place, and then cut the thread and cover the thread with this. But because I do not have that now, I'm going to be using the rubber bands that I previously put in oil. So I'm going to take the rubber band. It's now like really oily. After doing the bantu knot, I'm going to take the rubber band. Now because of the oil, everything is just so slippery and so difficult. So now I'm going to wrap the rubber band around just at the base. I'm not wrapping it at the end, just at the base. Now you don't want to wrap it all the way that is too tight. You're going to wrap until when you guys can see there's still like some hair. You release it. You don't want it to be too tight, and that's why it's good that you wrap it in a bantu knot, so that before the bantu knot will loosen, that it becomes so tight that it will now come out of the rubber band. Like, yeah, you probably want the style for as long as you want to. It will probably be time for you to take the style down and moisturize your hair. So that's why I do this. You're going to wrap the rubber band at the base just before the what's it called now, the bead. Then now you bring down this and voila, it's covered. Now when I put beads, I do not aim to make the beads to elongate my hair so that I'll have more length, because most times it doesn't happen. You guys can see like it's still the same length with my hair that is like shrunken and stuff like that, because yes, the bead gives me a little bit of hard time, but by the time I remove, you know, and wrap, like it's basically the same length already, so that's not a big deal. But the thing about beads is that it's not like it's going to, for me basically, it's not like it makes my hair look longer, but because of the beads, like my hair will have more movement. It just makes like the whole style like more like playful and stuff like that, like more it has more attitude, you know. So that's basically all I'm going to do until I'm done doing everything. So you continue, take your bead, one big bead, one small bead, you know, take your crochet. So take the crochet needle, the smaller bead should be down so that it's easier for you to wrap your hair around. Take your needle, put the smaller needle down, so right at the smaller bead down, then put the bigger bead. Take your hair, now take your hair, find a good spot, put your hair into the needle. If your needle is normal, how it should be, you know, if your needle is normal, how it should be, not weird like my own. This is the point where you close your needle, but I cannot do that now. Then you pull your hair, gently pull your hair through the crochet needle. You want to be careful when you're doing this, so you don't want to just zoom and be pulling. Your hair will go needle, like your hair will just break, so don't do that. Be careful. Push this away, bring this down, find the spot, the position that you want. Then you start to wrap your hair upwards like a bantu knot. Wrap it up. Wrap it. Then you take your rubber band previously inserted in oil. Then you wrap your hair at the base of where you started wrapping, like just before the smaller bead. You don't want to wrap it around the ends that where you're like bantu knot ended. You continue to wrap, but you don't want to wrap all the way such that the rubber band is so tight that you cannot pick it. So when you have like just a little, you know, you release the rubber band so that it will go into place. And the good thing about doing it this way is that when it's time for you to unravel the style, you can just find, because the rubber band is not like so tight, you can just find a spot, pick your rubber band, cut it, and voila, your hair is free again. Then you bring this down. That's done. So let me spare you guys my talking and just speed through this part of the video, because if you allow me, I'll just keep talking and talking. I actually never knew, I had no idea that I talked so much. I think it's because we are talking about hair, maybe. So I enjoy talking about hair, that's why, maybe that's why I'm talking so much. Like I talk. I am Mrs. Talk. I talk and talk in most of my videos. Bear with me. So I'm done inserting all the beads, and like now I can see why you guys love this style so much. Like it's actually very cute. Somehow along the line I ran out of rubber bands, so I ended up completing the hair. Like thankfully I found like some rubber threads around in my house, so I ended up completing like everything with rubber threads. So like most like of all these ones here, I used rubber thread to do it, and this looks so good. Now in that style, like that video that you guys saw, I wrapped this part with a strip, like a hair, kind of like a thread. It was something I got from one locks extension that I got sometime last year. So that was what I wrapped around here. It was something, where is it? But I don't have it anymore. What I have now, like is this color. This is like lemon color, and it will not go with the color of the beads that I have here. So gold goes better, so I cannot put this. But basically you just take it like this and just gently, just be what is it called now, creative about it. So you just wrap it loosely around the bun. You wrap, where is it? Just wrap like this. Then you can pin the end into your hair with like a bobby pin or something. That is what I did, but now it's just so off because like lemon does not go with the color of my bead, so I'm not going to use this. Let me go ahead and remove it. But that was basically what I used, but just that I used gold thread instead. But even without wrapping, like without the thread, this actually still looks nice. So you can wear it like this. This is actually how I'm going to wear it. Like, this looks so cute. Good. So let me go ahead and show you guys what the back looks like. So with that, we've come to the end of today's episode of Vlogmas. If you enjoyed it, don't forget to give it a thumbs up, and if you're not subscribed to my channel already, make sure you subscribe. Thank you so much for watching. See you guys tomorrow in episode 18 of Vlogmas.